cry every day about gas prices, about this prices, that prices, but yet I have money to give to Veronica Mars.
Well, enough of Veronica Mars. We got bigger and better and much more important things to talk about. And here she is from MasterChef, our girl Krissi Biasiello. What's up, Krissi?
What's up, my boyfriend? How are you?
How are you?
Oh, I'm just wonderful. How are you guys?
You're just wonderful. That sounds very sarcastic coming from you.
Well, yeah, because I'm always miserable.
How can you be miserable? You are the toast of the town.
You know, guys, I have to tell you, I had my first, true fan experience today. It was so much fun. A guy from the PPA, Parking Authority. I'm walking down 20th Street, and he literally, runs down. Oh my God. Oh my God, you're Krissi. He's like, can I get a picture with you? And I'm like, do you want my picture? And it was just funny because, I'm just a regular person, and I don't see myself as different or anything like that. And it was funny. So I told him, I said, all right, you can take my picture, but I want one too because you're my first real fan. It was definitely cool.
So Team Krissi is spreading.
Hey, Bay, how quickly she forgets that a couple other people took a picture with her a couple weeks ago, and
you guys aren't fans.
Forgot about us already.
You guys are like family now. I don't even consider you fans.
No, we become family once we eat food. That's when we become family.
You know, every time with you guys, you always want me to cook for you. You're typical men, I'm telling you.
Well, yeah. Anybody who doesn't have experience cooking food and then knocks it out of the park. We want to taste something you have experience in cooking. You caused this.
Well, I'm pretty awesome at hollandaise sauce.
How about the hollandaise sauce?
How about the hollandaise?
You had me stressed last night.
No.
I said it, and it cracked me up. The two that bragged the most about knowing how to make Eggs Benedict had the two worst ones.
I was a little jolted when Big Joe was up there saying that it was a restaurant dish, so I wouldn't be able to handle it. Yo, don't ever underestimate me. What happens when you underestimate me?
Let's go back to the beginning of the show, and we'll work our way into the hollandaise sauce. You guys had the first challenge, the banquet challenge, to open the show, and it was just complete anarchy and disarray going on both teams.
Yeah.
And they picked teams, and you were second to last to be picked. What was going through your head?
Actually, I thought that I was actually going to get picked dead last because nobody knows how to take my personality. And now, not around here, obviously, because, this is how we are. But, I'm dealing with people from Kentucky. I'm dealing with people from Minnesota. I'm dealing with people from the suburbs of Boston where, everything is so great up there. And everybody kind of looks down on Philly to begin with, which was confirmed when I got out there because people would literally be like, oh, you're from Philly? And, I am who I am. I never stop being who I am. You either hate me or you love me, and that's okay because I probably either hate you or love you back. And I already knew, what was going to happen, and I really didn't care. And when Bethany got to take the swap, I knew I was going. I knew it. It didn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. I might be a unit during the team challenges, but as soon as we're at it, I'm not your unit no more.
How about the unit of you and Natasha working side by side?
Honestly, before, the show had even started, we just kind of, looked at each other and, gave the, truce, okay, boom. And we just knew we had to work together because Beanie is an idiot. And we knew there was going to be no direction whatsoever. And with Beth running around chirping like a cricket, oh, I think you guys need this, and oh, I think you guys need that. Like, shut up, Beth. Me, Kathy, and Natasha just kind of had to really take over for the sides and make sure everything was getting done because nothing was getting done. It was pretty bad. Thank God we had Jordan on the steaks or else they wouldn't have got done.
Well, one thing I found was funny is when they're picking the teams, and I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, okay, they're not picking Krissi, and it shows that, you know, they really don't think ahead. Because when I seen them pick the vegetarian, I'm like, you just picked a vegetarian to help cook a steak dinner. How the hell does that work? Why on earth would you pick a vegetarian? And watching her eat that burger last night, I lost it.
She didn't eat it.
Oh, it looked like that's okay, because it looked like she took a bite.
No,
so how did she vote on the burger if she didn't eat them?
She ate the sides.
Oh, so she tasted the buns.
She tasted the bun, she tasted the sides, but she would not eat the burger.
Somebody should have shoved that burger. Please tell me that someone smacks her with a pork chop before the end of the series.
I would love to.
Oh, boy. Now, when you guys were doing the whole steak thing, as the fire trucks were getting closer, I kept saying to myself, the sirens are getting louder. I would be, like, panic mode setting in.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I just wanted to make sure that everything was getting on the plate and that, you know, everything was kind of going according to plan. But, you know, Beanie was like a dictator. Like, you know, you saw me trying to tell him about the mushrooms. He wanted to sit there and cut, you know, all these mushrooms in half. And I'm like, dude, you're wasting time. Like, there were small mushrooms, you know, and, you know, little, like, baby cremini mushrooms. And they're listen, who doesn't love nice whole mushrooms with their steak, you know, especially them little ones. They're delicious like that. Why would you slice them? Not only, you know, are you taking away from the beauty of the little, you know, baby creminis, but you're taking, you know, you're also, like, you know, wasting time. It was just ludicrous. Like, nothing, like Kathy you saw Kathy try to tell him, like, look, we should be putting a rub on the steak. He told her no. Then Gordon comes over magically and says, why don't you guys have a rub on the steak? Well, geez, Kathy, who everybody, you know, underestimated again, was trying to tell him, and he didn't want to hear it. He had what he wanted to do, and that was it. And, I mean, at one point, he actually, like, slammed his fist down on the table and was like, because I said so. And we were all like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like, now, at that point, I'm done with you. I am done. I don't care what happens. I already knew midway through we were going to lose because of the direction that we were going in. And, you know, the blue team had such a strong team over there. I mean, come on, they had Eddie on the grill, you know, James on the chimichurri. I mean, that's James' thing. That's what he does. He does sauces, you know. And, you know, I knew midway through, and I'm just like, I'm done. You ain't going to talk to me like that. You're not going to treat me like that. I don't care what happens to you because I know that I'll survive whatever pressure test there is. So you guys can keep running around like chickens without your heads because I'm done.
I just couldn't believe that, like, Gordon offered suggestions to both, like, your team with the rub and the other team they had the two sauces going. He's like, why are you wasting time with two sauces? And it was like, they wouldn't even listen to Gordon. I was like, what are you doing? Like, why would you not listen to him out of anybody?
Well, Bree said it best. When she said this is a perfect example of too many cooks in the kitchen. You know, I mean, you got to remember this is our first, you know, our second team challenge. Everybody's still kind of trying to prove themselves a little bit. Right. So, you know, everybody's got like a swole chest, like, oh, well, I can do this. Oh, I can do that. I could do this. You know what I mean? And nobody was really working cohesively together. And, you know, to be honest with you, in that type of situation, I keep my mouth shut. I drop back. I do the task I was assigned to do, and the rest of them can fall on their face because I don't want to get involved in the chaos. You know what I mean? I will break away from that, and I will say to hell with you, because I'm a smart girl. I like what all these other people, like people like me and Kathy, like all those other people, like me and Kathy, we knew we were going to lose. You understand? Like, and the same thing with the school challenge, because we were on the team together again. We knew that we weren't going to win. We got street smart. We're able to, and anybody from this area, has that kind of common sense. These are all people, from, the boondocks in Massachusetts, Houston. Like, what the hell happens in Houston? Like, you don't know about the Bronx and Philly. Like, we're tough. We know how to read a situation. Why? Because we used to get our ass kicked on the way to school in the morning and things like that. So, you know what I mean? Like, at that point, me and Kathy were just like, we're done. Go ahead. Do you. Because whatever happens, you know what I mean, happens. Like, there's nothing we could do at that point. And it's just very frustrating because you know how it's supposed to be, and you know when something's not working. You try to make your voice heard, and nobody, in my case, nobody respects anything I say because they think I can't cook. And, you're just like, at that point, I wash my hands of it,
Well, the one thing that gets me on the show is, and Beamy last night emphasized this, they think that they know more than what has worked.
Mm-hmm.
You cook steak, you cook it on a barbecue, you put a rub on it. That is barbecue 101. It's worked for how many years? And when he sat there, and it was the same thing with Luca later on with the hamburger. Oh, well, I'm not going to put cheese on it or what? Dude, what are you...
And again, Kathy, the one everybody thought couldn't cook. Again, what did Kathy say? Put cheese on the burger. See, the thing with those kind of chefs, these pretentious, like, they're trying to be something they're not. They're trying to run before they walk, and, they're not thinking about, what the people want to eat. They're thinking about what's going to impress more. Oh, maybe if we just do a simple burger. No, it's a burger joint. I could see if you were, if we went to like Gordon Ramsay Steak or something like that where it's more elevated. Absolutely, simplicity is absolutely, the way to go in those types of places because simplistic, rich people go to rich people simplistic restaurants. This is a burger joint. You understand? People want cheese. Me and Kathy, that when she said that, I wished I could have reached through the screen and hugged her because she knows what people want to eat.
Now, one thing I'm going to tell you, I'm new to MasterChef. This is my first year watching it. And I'll tell you one thing that I absolutely and positively hate about the show is the team captains are never held accountable.
No.
Beamy, Luca, Kathy should not have gone home.
No.
Kathy should still be there. Luca should have been sent home. Not only did he, and that's the thing, they don't look at the overall. I know they judge it on what the end product is, but the overall, if you look at it last night, it was his decision to do that burger, to undercook them, overcook them, and it was also, Beamy's to mess up the stage, but yet both of them get saved. And that aggravates me to no end. I think, these team captains should start being held accountable.
Well, I think after this team challenge, I've definitely learned my lesson, and I almost feel bad now for Colin Jordan now because basically when it comes down to it, they're not your friends, and nobody's going to save you. Nobody's there to help you. And, you have to live another day in the kitchen. And, I think if I ever get the chance, I have to think about, what do I tell my kid? You know what I mean? Do I say to him, oh, well, yeah, Mommy gave Jordan a really hard time, but so, you know, I didn't want to go back on that, and, you know, I had a chance to be safe, and but I got sent home. You know, like, what do I tell my kid? How's my kid gonna look at me? So I apologize to Jordan, you know, if he's listening, because I was definitely hard on him. You know, it's not like our neighborhood. It's not. This is a tough, you know, calls out game, and you know, it's you gotta I guess. I don't even know the phrase that I'm looking for. You gotta, you know, go out there and hunt or be hunted, basically. And I didn't realize that at first. You know, I'm trying to do the honorable thing, and I'm trying to, you know, of course, captain goes down with the ship, you know, things like that, you know. And I give Beanie props because he was going to take it. Now, whether or not he was going to, definitely or not, I can't say. But you know, it's this past challenge. And this, like, you know, this whole thing, you know, with Kathy and everything like that, it's totally changed the way that I'm going to play the game now.
I mean, you can see. I mean, that's just it. It is a game. I guess you don't realize it. I mean, I know, like Frank said, I didn't watch the show before this season, and you don't realize this show, out of all the reality shows, you can see how much of it, not only the game it is, but the true stress and pressure that it puts on you guys with these time limits, and with them in your faces. They don't help matters, and they totally it's just a whole mind game through the whole thing, especially like you know, they come over, and when they came over when you guys were doing the Eggs Benedict challenge, and you can see, like, when you were making the hollandaise sauce and they were like, you only have one egg, you can see A, that it was part of the game, but you can also see B, that there was genuine concern because they didn't want you to fail.
Right. and that's the thing that I've learned so far, you know, with the judges, you know, is that, you know, they genuinely give a shit. They're investing their time in us. You know, they didn't pick us because, you know, we're good for TV. They picked us because it's a combination of us.
You are good for TV.
Well, of course I'm good for TV, but, I mean, when it all comes down to it, when I went in that room in the first audition in New York, they didn't know anything about me. I'm just somebody off the street. It was my food that won them over. It was just a bonus that I'm awesome. But you know what I mean? Like, and before you walk in those doors, you know, and cook for that, you know, chance to get your apron, they have no idea who you are. They don't know me, where I'm from, what my story is. You know what I mean? So, I mean, they genuinely judge you on food. Like, that's it, you know?
Well, I got to say that I agree. They do seem like they care, and I just find it funny that, you know, when they're giving people advice, how some of them just ignore it. But one thing too I want to touch on. So they showed a preview for next week. It looked like you had a car in there.
Well,
your idol walked through the door because
you have no idea. It was like meeting Jesus.
Literally, you look like you're going to be the show next week because they showed that one preview, and it's funny because I've got people at work talked on the show.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing they said to me this morning is, "I can't wait till next week. I want to see what she looked like. She just met the Beatles."
Honestly, probably the only thing that would I'm a huge Beatlemaniac. Probably the only thing that would make me more excited was if I got to meet the Beatles.
I'll tell you what.
She's incredible. I've been watching her since I was a kid. She's like my idol. I mean, to hear Joe say that I my food reminds him of home is like the greatest thing that could ever be said to me, because he has no idea how much I idolized his mother.
I was happy for when I saw the preview last night. I was like so happy for you. I'm like, that's awesome. Just besides the fact of just being on the show, but now to be on a show with her had to be such an incredible feeling.
Yeah, I mean, we literally had no idea. You know what I mean? Things. We got to the challenge yesterday. We didn't know who we were looking for. Like, everything is a surprise, because we can't prepare for anything. Like, that's the point of the show. It's, can we handle the pressure? Can we handle the twists and turns? Can we handle the surprises? It's anybody who thinks that this is easy is crazy, because this is, honest to God, one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life.
I'll tell you
what. Go ahead, Frank.
And I hope this happens before the end of the show. I want to see Krissi, the captain of a team, because I think it'll be interesting to watch you as a captain, because you have the street smarts, and I could see you picking somebody if the challenge calls for it. I could see you picking Natasha, because you want your team to win, and I could see you being a lot smarter than what I've seen out of the first two challenges so far. So I'm really hoping that at some point you are a team captain.
Me too. Me too, because I got a lot of people on my hit list right now, and I would love to have that advantage.
I'll tell you what, it was really a stand-up thing, too, at the end of the show last night when they eliminated Kathy. I guess Gordon offered her a job.
Yes.
That's just awesome.
It is awesome. Kathy was literally my best friend, the entire time she was there. And, she if you could implant me as a Puerto Rican in the Bronx, we're almost identical. And I'm really upset that her personality didn't get to show, as much, because she's a dynamite human. She's a firecracker, man. She's just like me. She can't be more than 5'2", but she will knock you out. She is, and she's a single mom with 3 kids, and doing it on her own, and she gave up a lot too. So she was kind of like, my confidant, so to speak. Nobody there had kids. Well, Natasha had one, but she never acted like it. And you know what I mean? So, Kathy was really the only person that I could talk to. We had a lot in common. We came, from essentially the same backgrounds, except we have different heritage. The day-to-day struggles, robbing Peter to pay Paul, things like that. Like, we gave up a lot to be out there, and when, she's going to be missed.
Well, everybody, next week, Wednesday night, on Fox, MasterChef, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and then 9 p.m. Eastern Time. 2 shows back-to-back, 2 new episodes. Team Krissi, get on board.
Another double episode.
Another double episode. Hashtag Team Krissi. Well, Krissi, another week in the books. You survived again. We survived again. I don't know if my blood pressure can take much more, but I'll be tuned in Wednesday night.
Yeah, no more screaming at the TV, guys.
I get stressed.
I'll talk to you.
My favorite thing now is to tweet out during the show.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The what?
My thing is now to send out my twits during the show.
Oh, yeah.
He don't tweet his twits.
Because last night I think I typed it out. 2 things. Number 1, who the hell puts goat cheese on a hamburger? And number 2, who the hell doesn't put cheese on a hamburger?
You were absolutely right. They were both baffling questions for us.
Too funny. All right, Krissi, we'll be tuned in on Wednesday night, and we will talk to you Thursday night.
All right, guys. See you next week.
All right. You got it.
All right,
thanks.
bye.
See ya. I'm telling you, Frank, that show stresses me out.
Well, like I said, whether she